Okay, I think it's going live now. I hope so. Hi, good day everyone. My name is Dr. Rina Khan, a clinical psychologist, psychotherapist, speech and analyst therapist, and I'm your host for the Today Show because I give my introduction all the time. But I think when you're hosting a show with a person who smile in all the pictures all the time, you would see her. She's smiling. She's so fit, and today the topic is very important because today we are going to talk about puberty on in the girls who are neurodivergent girls, and it's very important to talk about that topic because uh, if we talk about population which are not neurodivergent, for them sexual education is a different thing, and the level of understanding is also different because uh, uh, they understand, say their body sensation is different, like they feel their body differently. But if you talk about neurodivergent girls especially, then they are not that much vocal about their things. They are not communicative, and they don't have socialization skills the way other girls are socialized, and they're also different from the boys also. So they're not hyper just like boys. Maybe they got some kind of depression, but they're not hyper. Over here the point is that people would consider them shy, but they are not communicating and they're masking a lot of time. So today we have a amazing person, and I'm trying to take her name, which is G Ist, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, G
G.
set.
Oh yes, sorry. G said she's from
Yes.
Texas, and yeah, she's from Texas, and she belongs, or she raised up in another community. Why not we talk to her? But I would like to say she's an autism mom. She's activist. She's advocating for her daughter, and she's advocating for other parents who need a voice and whose voice is not heard. And she did amazing two conferences, and she's also going to talk about her recent conference in her own area where she is. We will also touch the topic, but let's give her a forum. Yes, G East. I know it's difficult name. Sorry. G set.
Hello,
It's
my
G
name.
set.
Yeah, G set.
Yeah, I got it now.
Yes, I am an autism mom, and I am also the co-founder of Cafe Azul TX, which
Hmm.
is a nonprofit, and we focus on education and empowerment of the parents and also individual with special needs.
Hmm. Okay,
And I am
and
in
you are
Texas,
also
but I am born and raised in Puerto Rico.
okay, and you're also a fitness trainer, because I have seen you a lot of videos all the time. You're motivating other people to come for the fitness thing. Uh, so how you're managing a lot of things together? Like you have a daughter, you have to see her, you have to manage her, and you have to do other things also. How are you doing all of that?
Well, one of the things, I do not watch a lot of TV. I do not watch a lot of TV, and also kind of organizing myself. But I also have a
Okay.
husband, and he's my support. You know,
Okay.
sometimes I'm teaching my classes, and he stay with the girls, and I really love that he's an involved parent. Sometimes I have heard some moms that they do all the work. Sometimes the parents are not involved, or sometimes they are single moms, because sometimes, depending on the cultural background, sometimes the dad who couldn't handle, having a child that it was different. And sometimes they're like divorces and things like that. But and also, even though Kara has autism, she doesn't have like aggressive or violent tendencies. So that also help us. Usually my husband or my mom help me like to watch my daughter, but I have found like very kind people that sometimes I can rely also to help with Kyra. But most of the time, sometimes I take it with me as well. I think that sometimes, as parents of individuals with special needs, sometimes we think that all that we need to do. And we also need to realize that being a dad of a person with special needs is part of who we are, but it doesn't have to be all. We are a person that we have hobbies, we have passions, we have dreams, and you don't need to live your dreams just because you're having or you need to take care of a person with special needs. You can just do a little bit of everything. Sometimes it's gonna take longer, or sometimes it's not gonna be right away, but if you're consistent and you are focused, you can totally do it. I think that it froze. Are you there?
Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I'm back now. Okay. So I'm saying that you're very much right, and I would like to appreciate the aspect that you're trying to project over here is that we have to take care of ourselves. We are going to get ill also, and who's going to take care of us?
Can you repeat it again? I can hear you. I think that is. Can you hear me? It's getting a little frozen.
Nobody's. I think nobody's hearing me.
Yes, I'm not hearing you. I see your image, but I can hear you. It's a little bit frozen. Like I can see your message frozen, but I can hear what you're saying.
App.
Do you want me to log off and log in again to see if maybe that helped? Because your message is frozen and I can hear you. Okay, now I got you. Now I can see you.
Okay. So
Okay.
I'm saying that if you can hear me even on uh, Facebook, we both are live. We both are live and people can see us. We cannot see each other. So if you can hear my voice, you can still respond to that question. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
but I
saying, when did
cannot
you?
hear you.
Now you cannot hear me. Okay, let me move
Okay.
toward mobile. Let me move to the mobile phone. Let me try this. Okay. While trying that, can you please tell us that when did you realize or when your daughter was diagnosed with autism? What was her age?
She was around 3.5 years old.
Okay.
And
And
um,
so, how did you start? What is she doing now? In what grade she is now?
she's
Is
14
she going
right
to?
now.
Yes, she's 14 years old. And what she's doing? I mean, she's going to with you, or she's also studying.
Yes, she's gonna start attending high school now in the fall. She's gonna go to ninth grade.
Okay. So, how do you manage the relationship problem? I'm talking about friendship and adjustment problem in the school. Did she come to you and talk about these problem, or she's not talking to you about this problem?
Um, her speech is very limited. Like she can do complete sentences, but sometimes like I always work the speech part. Like I always ask her, how was your day, what did you do, but she usually don't come and tell me, you know um uh She has an intellectual disability, and
Hmm.
her mind is around 5 years old, more or less.
Okay.
So, um, I asked her if she had a good day, what did she do at school and things like that. But she loves school. She loves to go to school. She had very good teachers this year and people that, love her and knew her personality. She's very active. Um, but she's always laughing. She's a very happy girl.
I think she has taken that from you because you're also very smiling all the time. I have seen your all pictures in which you are smiling. Maybe that is the way of your life, the way of lifestyle you have, and the way you look at yourself and the way you look at your daughter. Because it is very important to get the idea. If a mother have a positive image about herself, then the daughter is going to get the same thing. I mean, these things, this positivity, this confidence is coming from the mother side. Then the society is going to change things, or society is going to affect you. But like you said that you are laughing all the time, you are happy. That's why she's happy. Whenever you are going, you said you just mentioned that you are also taking your child to this the with your own place where you are training. So can does she have friends, or she just go and just, or does she socialize, go to parties or go to birthday parties, or she just stay at home?
Well, she has like some uh students at school that she kind of rotate or circulate a little bit more, but she doesn't like say my friend, you know. But she's like very family
Okay.
oriented. Like she really loves her family. She really loves her puppy. Like she doesn't talk to me about like friends at school, but for example, she was part of a dance program that was free for individual with special needs. It's called Darby's Dancer. And something really funny that happened is that there was a boy that he has always like Kyra, and he has Down syndrome. So in the presentation, he asked her if
Okay.
Kyra wanted to be her girlfriend, and she said
Okay.
yes. And I was like, wow, Kyra, really? Like he asked, like, Kyra, you want to be my girlfriend? And she said, yes. And I was like, Kyra, are you sure? So they haven't seen each other, but she has a boyfriend, and then he gave her a kiss in the shin. It's sorry, in her cheek. So it was just really cute. So we try, even because her body is developing a lot. Like her
Yeah.
body looks older, than her age. She looks like really developed. Like she wears the same clothes that I wear, the size, but her mind is like 5. So we are trying to create like a bridge between her mental age and her body, because we cannot dress her by her mind, you know? But there's some things that some 14 years old do that, she doesn't get it. So as parents, we're trying to
Okay.
find that happy median between her mental age and her body age, but we're also helping her to do age appropriate things, so she can grow into it.
That was, by the way, amazing thing you just mentioned that. And and that maybe that was an unexpected thing for you, because you just told me that she don't tell you about her friends, that she have any friend, but she mentioned this incident. It means that she was maybe more happy about that, or she was not even expecting. Because if a child is with some disability, it doesn't mean that the child don't understand. If a child is even 5 years of age, the child is a fully functional human being. So the child mind is actually capable of understanding the situation. The way of, the way of responding to these situations are different. So okay, like you just the relationship came between. So let's talk about the other aspect, which is our topic today, that is about puberty. So how you bring that topic to her, and what was your effort to tell her about puberty, and how she take it, how she took it from the start, and how she's managing now.
Well, when she started to grow, because again, my husband, um, he was very involved with everything, and there was sometimes I was working late and he was helping giving her a bath. But as she developed a little bit more, I could understand that as a dad that can get a little bit uncomfortable, so we started working with her because like she gets herself in the shower, but sometimes she forgets the soap, so we are working on
Okay.
hygiene, like right now
Okay.
I'm like a coach. Like I do not give her a
Okay.
bath. Like I am there following, and I was like, okay, what do you do now? What do you need besides the water? Wash here, wash that, and things like that. And I say, no, you need to scrub, and then you need, and the same thing like when with toiletry. Like she goes to the bathroom by herself, but sometimes she forget to clean herself. So I was like, okay, you need to check. Is it clean? Is it not? And things like that. And when I noticed that she was starting developing like around 12, I got, I was a very early developer. Like I got my period when I was 11. So when she was 12, I started thinking she's going to get it soon and I need to prepare her. And something that happened was that the pediatrician told me that if I wanted to give her an injection so she couldn't have a period.
Yeah.
And as a
True.
mom,
True.
I took the decision not to do that because number one, I didn't know how the chemicals in the injection was going to affect
Exactly.
her. Number two,
Exactly.
how could I know if she can handle it or not if she doesn't experience it? Like as
Exactly.
parents, we cannot put limitations on our kid. And sometimes we get so
Exactly.
scared when they have autism or a disability that we're like, no, they can
Exactly.
handle that. And what if they could? We need
Exactly.
to help them to get over it. So I started using the panty liners. They were not like real sanitary napkins, they were more like the thin ones. And she started wearing it every day. She didn't have a period, she was just wearing it every day. So she was getting used to having that in her underwear, the sensation, and she built up that stamina. So, 1 year later, after I have been doing that every day, she got her period. And it was not different because she was already using the panty liners every day, you know so at the beginning she was a little bit confused, and I just, so um the way that I told her is like, you're bleeding, so you need a band-aid. So we talked that the panty liner was kind of a band-aid, and she was like,
Okay.
oh, okay. And she was okay like that. We're still working on like, because sometimes, so we're still building that independence so she can take care when she get her menstrual period, because she still needs coaching. But it has not been something that has not been unmanageable, like. And I'm glad that I didn't put the injection on her,
Exactly.
because then
Exactly.
like I was limiting her experiences. um
And that
so
exactly.
but I
And
have
there is another
heard,
part.
yes, but I have heard other like autism moms that their girls that were having like violent episodes, or they were like, they were experiencing like mood changes, and
Mm,
it's like I tell everybody, I'm a woman and I don't have special needs. And when I'm on my period, I don't even like myself. Like, I don't have a good attitude. So just imagine a person with sensory processing problems, because it's a different smell. Sometimes the hormones change, the taste
exactly.
in your mouth, how you smell things. So those are
Exactly.
things that parents of girls with autism need to observe, what, how she's feeling it. Because when, even if you don't have special needs, like those hormones, that fluctuation of hormones in your body change the way that food tastes, change like the way that smells. Like there's something that they
Exactly.
smell too strong for you, the headaches,
Exactly.
the uncomfortable feelings. Sometimes they
Getting the
cramp.
cramps inside, stomach cramp, body aches. There's a lot of things that a person and above everything, the people are feeling depressed also because these are mood fluctuation, and people
Exactly.
start fighting with, the girls start fighting with their family. So there's a lot of thing, and I would really appreciate the fact that you took the decision for your daughter because you never know how that hormone is going to affect her body,
Exactly. But I'm glad
and
that,
you
like,
were
you,
and you decided not to take her womanhood from her. I would appreciate that way because that's how a female is defined, that's how her own body is, that's how she's going to develop as a person. So and I also like the idea that when you got you got that idea that if I was able to get that specific thing or that period in first year, now, like when you were 11, maybe she might get it soon, and just because of your preparation, the preparation you were doing, the things you were doing with her, help her out to manage her situation. And I would really clap for you on that thing. I really appreciate everything you are doing for your girl, and that is a tough decision you are taking. So I think you have seen the difference in your daughter and other daughters too, like other autism mom that who are taking on pills, like they're feeling not good, and we are not going to get the idea what is going to happen with these girls in their later life. So my point over here is that I would like to ask you a question. Just like you said that she's also having a somebody approach her and she's having a relationship. So did you talk about that part also? Because when you talk about
well, right now I'm starting to talk with her, with people, because, well, at least something that is good is that she's not very like trusting of other people, and she has like a good awareness of her private parts, like
exactly,
uh
good job,
but
amazing.
right now we're working with her, like only mommy and doctor can check down there, nobody else. If somebody want to
Exactly.
come and touch, you said stop, no, and you scream. So I'm starting that,
Okay.
and depending on the maturity level and the cognitive level of your child, it might take just one repetition. And that is something that people need to understand. Sometimes parents think, that if their kid had an intellectual disability, it is because of autism, and it's not. They're two different things, because there are a lot of people that have autism, but they don't have an intellectual disability, or that
Exactly.
their
True.
son or daughter do not speak because of autism. No, that means that your child has autism with a speech delay. But sometimes
Exactly.
people, and they need to know that there's a difference, because they say, oh, because of autism my kid cannot read, and it's not like that. That's when we were talking about Kyra's, I told you she has autism with an intellectual disability and a speech delay. There were like three different things, but sometimes people put it all together. And I know people that they can talk a lot, they're brilliant, they are considered geniuses,
Exactly.
and they have autism. So it is something
Exactly.
completely different, and it's important that parents make that separation, and that's gonna decide
Exactly.
how you're gonna target things with your child. Because if your kid do not have an intellectual disability, maybe you just need to repeat this lesson 2 times, and that's it. But if your daughter has an intellectual disability, you might need to get a social story, where it's a book that has picture and shows, like, if a stranger comes, what do
Yeah.
you do,
Exactly.
and things like that. So that's what I will be using with her, like a social story with picture, and we repeat, like,
Exactly.
say no, and she repeat it, and we do the hand gesture, and it's a lesson that we're repeating until she internalizes it.
And you're very much right that before even puberty stage we have to talk about good touch and bad touch. We have to talk about boundaries. What are the boundaries? What are the private boundaries? There are few things even parents cannot see, parents cannot touch. You're getting the point, because that is a sensitive topic. Even then we have to talk about things, because somebody have to come forward, they have to talk about. And I'm trying for quite a long time, maybe 2 or 3 months, to talk to someone about these things, because autism, intellectual disability, speech delay, it doesn't deny the fact that she's a girl, she's a woman. I mean, she's a girl, and she have to face all things which a girl is facing. Like, anybody could approach her, people could tease her, people could bully her, could flirt with her. Maybe she's a good, you find a, a target for doing things. Because I have seen people, this is happening with a lot of people and a lot of girls. What we can do, we cannot let our children sit at home. This is what you are doing. You are preparing your child to fight her own fight, and you cannot ask her to sit at home, because it's not going to help her. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to make her more disabled. It's going to make her life more miserable. But going
Yes.
to the fire, going to the difficult environment every day, facing everything, and talking about these things is helping out a lot. And like, you are also having this organization and different things. So the things you are applying with her, did you took these these skills or coaching techniques or tricks from someone, or you're just thinking all the time on these aspects and doing and working on them, or your therapist or her therapist is helping you?
Yes, again, and at least something that we had noticed, and again, there's no two individuals with autism that are the same, but something that we have noticed is that girls with autism are more verbal than boys with autism. you know
Exactly.
so if you have a girl, or if you just have a child with autism and is going into puberty or teenagers and is not verbal, you need to be encouraging other types of conversation. It could be picture exchange, it could be sign language, because
Exactly.
something that happened, that what I usually meet with other parents for support. And there was this story. He was a teenager, he was a boy. He was not violent at all. And he jumped from the window on the second floor of his house. They took the boy to the doctor because he had like cuts. He broke a foot when he fell in the floor. When the doctors were working with him, they realized that he had a cavity that was hurting his tooth, but he was not verbal.
Okay.
The family didn't have any communication system with him, and they didn't
Okay.
know that he had a toothache. Let me tell you something. I am a woman, I am 40, and if I have a pain in my tooth and nobody does anything about it, like, I don't know what I would do. So it was out
Exactly.
of desperation. And a lot of time,
Yeah.
behavior is communication. If your son or
Exactly.
daughter, she was verbal and she was not, she's trying to tell you something, something is changing. If she if your son or daughter doesn't want to go, she yeah was going to school every day, suddenly they don't want to go to school anymore, something is happening. They can tell
Actually,
you
that is
because they're
my.
not verbal, but if they don't want to go
Exactly.
anymore, somebody's doing something to them there. If they don't want to get in the bus and they had no problem getting in the bus, something is happening there. And if they're getting violent
Exactly.
or hitting themselves out of nowhere, something is happening. And something, it took me
Exactly.
14 years with Kyra. Like, she could tell me if she had, like, if something hurt, she could tell me tummy hurt, finger hurt, head hurt. But if somebody did something to her, she couldn't tell me. She couldn't tell me, oh, my teacher hit me. She couldn't. But something that happened 2 weeks ago, and I was the happiest mom in the world. She told me, boo boo, which is like when she's a little bit hurt, she call it boo boo. And she showed me and she said, boo boo, boo boo. And I was, who did it? And she told me, Luca. She told me the dog scratched her. We have a dog in the house. And that was huge because she told me what hurt and she told me who did it. That is going to be monumental because I pray for her that nothing happens to her. But if there's a time that somebody does something to her, after 14 years, she's gonna be able to tell me what they did to her and who did it. And that is
Exactly.
monumental because that is one of the biggest fear as a parent that you have when your child has problem with communication.
Exactly, and you're very much right that, and when we're talking about talking about getting work with your children, you have to start with simple things. You don't need a big
Exactly.
gadgets for that. For example, it's important to teach your child body parts. This is first thing I'm
Exactly.
going to teach my children when they are coming to me, because when they know the body parts, then they can tell you it hurts. And
It does.
sometimes pain is the biggest reason, maybe one of the reason of meltdowns and temper tantrums. I mean, maybe they can work with hunger, maybe they can go along with us, but when they are in pain, then it make them into the phase of temper tantrums, and sometimes it's meltdown. And it is very much right that you are giving her the important skill, because after that, boundary setting, boundaries drawing, it is very important. Because don't think that you are protecting your you're not protecting your child by not telling the child these things. You're actually making them, or you're actually telling them that world is a very secure place, which is not secure. The world is
Mhm.
not secure for anyone. You will feel and you will encounter bad people everywhere. It's not even about the culture, and it's not even about the outside. Sometimes people encounter these people in their family. So a child should be ready for these things, no matter the gender is, no matter their disability is, no matter they understand or not. If they cannot talk, then teach them how to point out. Teach them pointing.
Exactly. There's some
That is
parents
also
that,
difficult.
yeah, all they do is pointing, pointing. There's some things that you can point about. Like you can point to feelings. Like like Kyra was seeing a speech therapist, but we work at home, like as a family. Because when she was little, she couldn't do what was taking turns. She didn't know how was like interacting with games. So as a family, we will be like, okay, today we're gonna play catch. And we will say, okay, I'm gonna catch you. Now it's your turn. Come and catch me. Now Krista is gonna catch you, which is her sister. And we did that. Other times we were making emotions game. Okay, I'm sad. I'm sad. Put the sad face. I am happy. I am scared. I'm hungry. But as she grew, those words were not enough. We needed to start working with frustration. I'm frustrated because as she grew, it was not like mad or sad. She was trying things or people were not getting her. And right now, again, we're working with help with her asking for help. I need help. And also at time at night, we're working with her telling us what she did during the day. Like four
Okay.
years ago, I could ask her, what did you do today? And she couldn't tell me. And we started using transition words. Like first, we went to and we were doing it with her. Right now, I'm just using transition words and she's telling me what she did during the day in the correct order. But that took time. And sometimes parents of kids with special needs, they try something with their kid like 3 months and they give up. We didn't do
Exactly.
that for 3 months. We did it every day before going to sleep. Every day. Okay, today we did, and later, and after, and finally, and right
Exactly.
now, when I want her to do something, like I can she can do up to 4 steps in a sequence, but just by listening to it without me showing her picture. But that is something that we build up, and she need to repeat to me what she needs to
Exactly.
do and the order. So as parents of kids with autism, your child is going to flourish in their own time, not on your time. So do
Exactly.
not give up as a parent. Keep working with your child, keep working in communication, keep working in routine. Eventually, there's going to be a time that your child is going to get it. Okay, but you need to be consistent and do not give
Exactly.
up. Do not give up on your child.
And the point is that when you and I, what I say, when I, because like I, you already know that I'm a therapist. When I'm not feeling okay, I don't do the session. I mean, there is no point in being sad and working with you with a child or working with adult. Then just do some simple activity with the child, so that the child don't get that I am sad, and the child might not feel that guilty, might feel guilty, because children feel whenever their parents are fighting, then children feel that it's because of us. Parents are fighting because of us, and we are the problems and we are stuff. Because parents sometimes when they're fighting, then they say to the parents of the child. And like you said in the mentioned earlier, that the divorce rate among parents who have special need kids are more. If you talk about even ADHD, it's not just about autism. So those parents who have children, those couples who have children with disabilities, they get more divorced, they get more separated. And just giving up is an easy job, but one day you are going to think about that, what you did with your wife and what did you do with your child, and time is not coming back. So same is for the same is true for other people, same is true for the family, even same is true for those people who are not helping you out in doing this thing. This is a fight, and I'm sure, I know that you got a family, but even then you are doing more than they are doing for your child. They are doing
Yes,
very good, but I would say that you are doing more than that. But you're doing more as compared to them. But the thing is that at the end of the day, you all are working for your child, and you all have common goals. And the amazing thing is you are achieving those goals. Like you just told me that the milestones are, you build that milestone, you work with your child, and she's achieving that milestone. I think that is your reward, and I don't think so that is better than any reward for any person. So at the end, I would like to say, I would like to request you, can you give some tips to the parents that they can work with their children to like there are always steps to do something. Like you told me that, can you just simplify these steps so that parent can follow these steps and work with their children? Because there, that is the elephant they have to encounter. They have to work on that. Otherwise, if they will go toward injection, that injection is not a safe place, just like medication. Medication has a lot
yes,
of side
most
effects.
yeah. And again, she already, she was developing, her hormones were fluctuating. I didn't even know how that injection was gonna affect her, if she was gonna be like allergic to it. So I, as parents of kids with special needs, sometimes our anxiety is high and our fear
Exactly.
is high. And I know that I am not the only special needs mom that feel like that, that when we think that we know the rules, they change. When we think we know the
Exactly.
game, they change the rules. Like,
Exactly.
I cannot tell you how many times Kyra is eating something and I was like, yay. And then after 2 years, she cannot even touch it. She doesn't want to smell it. She doesn't want to eat it, Or there was like a program that your kid loved and suddenly they don't like it anymore, or a smell, or even like even a type of clothing, like they cannot use
Exactly.
it anymore because it's too itchy. So it's like a game
Exactly.
that is totally changing, but not because of that we need to uh play ahead of the game and deprive our kids from experiences. Let's go through it and then we solve. But we cannot let fear keep us from doing, certain things with our kids.
And the important point, the important message over here is that your child is spending little time. I mean, 1 hour, 2 hour with a therapist. Rest you have 23 or 22 hours. So you have to plan, and the more you will plan, the more simple your plan is, the more simple your schedule is. It's going to help you more. And I think she's gone. Let's wait for her again. And that was an amazing conversation between us. And let's wait for her. And today we were talking about puberty. And yes, she's back. Puberty and neurodivergent. From neurodivergent, we means those girls who are on spectrum, who have uh, who have autism, who have ADHD. How a mother is going to help those. Yes, you're right. How mother is going to help those children uh, to run through or go through the experience. So you just mentioned that in the discussion when in early we have today, that you are having some kind of conference also. So I would also like you to share the details. Maybe people around you want to attend that conference and they might get benefit from that conference also.
Can you say it again? It was a little bit
I'm
broken.
okay. I'm saying you mentioned about a conference, and
Yeah.
I would like
Oh,
you to share the detail with us. Yeah, share the detail with us.
yes. We're gonna have a face-to-face conference. It's gonna be here in Pasadena, and it's gonna be completely free. Okay. and uh and the focus of this conference is gonna be advocacy. Okay, advocacy, and we're gonna be also talking about communication from you as a parent with the school, with the community. Also communication, because sometimes parents think, oh, my kid cannot advocate for himself. He's not going to be able to go to the meeting and say what he wants. But advocacy starts at home. Advocacy starts with your child telling you what he wants to eat. Advocacy starts with your child telling you how he feels. Advocacy starts when he tells you, I want to wear this today. Sometimes sometimes we there's some certain decisions that they can do. They might have a disability, but there's certain things that they can do, and we need to let them explore that. And also we're going to be talking about resources. What resources for advocacy do you have in your community that you don't know about? And um and also support, because in our board, again, we have kids like Kyra that has an intellectual disability, but sometimes we have kids that they have autism, but they are considered gifted and talented, so they're taking advanced class, so their cognitive level is really high academically. Like they are reading 3 4 levels ahead of their age. They're excellent in math, but
Yeah,
emotionally they're immature. Like they might be reading, like
exactly.
let's say that they have 8 years old, and they're reading on junior high level. Like they're reading books that 12 years old could read, but emotionally they are 4 years old emotionally. Like they don't know how to deal with frustration, with anxiety, how to communicate with other kids their age because their interest in difference. And we have seen an increase in depression and suicidal thoughts on teenagers with autism that do not have an intellectual disability, because since they are considered more
Exactly.
normal, they do not get this emotional support from the school. So they are
Exactly.
not
Exactly.
targeted, and they're not taken care of, because academically they're doing great. And that is not, they still need support. They still need accommodation. They still need the
Exactly.
counselors, because some teachers, they don't even know how to deal with these kids or what interventions to do with them.
Exactly.
And that's where we come as parents, to let them
Exactly.
know, like, my kids need this
Exactly.
support. I have learned that this is what the school can do. And we want to empower parents to get the communication right, the support right, and the resources right.
Exactly. And you're very much right about the increasing number in anxiety and depression, because currently, if I have adult case, then two or three are autistic and in ADHD cases. Like, and those problems is different now. Like they're facing problem with depression, they're facing problem with anxiety, they're facing problem with relationship, they're facing problem that how they are going to adjust in a new school or a new college, a new university, how they're going to apply into that thing, or somebody, if somebody's trying to threat them on something, how they're going to respond to these things. So the point over here is that autism or ADHD or intellectual disability does not go away. These children need support, these individual, this person needs support just like everyone. So thank you so much for your time, and that was amazing talking to you. You shared valuable information with us. I'm sure those parents, those mother who was thinking, who was actually scared and worried about their girls, and the time was coming to go to puberty, now they can play a part the way you are playing your part. And thank you so much for advocating for the whole autism community, because one person is representing the community also. So it's a voice of so many individuals around the world, so many individuals around, even in Texas and in the area you belong. And that was nice having you. See you very
Thank you
soon
so
in another
much.
discussion, because I would like to other mother know that with hard work you can achieve anything. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Let's just finish it.